What it do? Y'all gotta bear with me on this one. It's my first live, and I really don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we're gonna try to get through this the best way we can. Um, Shout out to Smoke and Talk. I appreciate that. Salute, fam. Um, what it do? Pooh Man 313. What up, man? Good to see you up in the building. Um, That's what's up. You know what? I'm gonna make Smoke and Talk. I'm gonna make them a moderator too. Let me do that right quick, cause I know I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna need some moderators to throw people out. Head first. That's how we do it around here. We ain't gonna play no games with nobody. All right. All right, Smoke and Talk. I got you as a moderator. All right, we got that situated. Um, but I got a subject that I want to talk about. Oh yeah, by the way, could everybody hear me? Mic check, mic check. Am I good? The audio, is it shitty? Is it a struggle stream? What? Y'all let me know, man. How I'm doing up in here so far. Oh yeah, for sure, Ghetto Talk. I fucks with you, man. So I can trust you. All right, thumbs up from Pooh Man. That's what's up. All right. Uh, yeah, it's a lot different, as far as making a VOD or whatnot, a video. You live, so y'all gonna catch everything. uh, but it's like I said, we gonna try to get through this though. Um, but I did want to talk about a subject dealing with Cardi B and Stefan Diggs. I did a video, I think it was a couple of days ago or something like that, and I think it did like about, I think like almost 10,000 views or something like that. But like we really need to address this as far as some of our women looking up to Cardi B and praising her and saying that she leveled up and all that, and it's like that's bullshit. How did she level up? By going to a dude that's worse than her husband. And the fact, Offset, he didn't bring no baby to this woman in their marriage or whatnot. I know he had kids before or whatever, but um, it's alleged that he cheated. We don't know that. You know, y'all know how some women is. You can be talking to a woman or whatever. You automatically cheating on her, but that's not always the case. Um, but this young lady I got here, man, she breaks this shit down. She's a very intelligent woman, and she bring out some good points as far as the whole situation and how women really supposed to be operating. You know, as far as being in a relationship, being married or whatever, or not even being in a relationship or whatnot. You know, you just don't go around um, just having babies by anybody. You know, um, but I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna stop, at some good points, because I can't remember everything. I'm not gonna do it like my VODs. I do my VODs. I let them talk, and then at the end of the video, I give my commentary. I'm gonna be, uh, I'm gonna be interrupting the video, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but y'all bear with me. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got to understand too. This is my first live, so y'all be easy on your boy or whatnot. I'm not gonna, get my feelings about anything, uh, as far as what somebody don't like. But again, y'all bear with your boy, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this video, and let's see what she talking about, y'all. I don't know if any of y'all heard this video before, but she talking good shit. So without further ado, let me put this video on. Let me see how I want to do this though. Okay, I'll do it like that. No, wait a minute now.
And I want to make sure I quote exactly what I said on the post, because sometimes my brain moves so fast that I almost be forgetting what I be saying, because that's just how good my brain is. It just be thinking, saying, and then I be like, dang, that was a good one. I said, truth is, Cardi B has low self-esteem. Any woman with two eyes and a brain that's not a bird brain can see this. She is not happy, and she is searching for happiness and payback. She's so busy trying to make Offset feel away because she's still hurt that it's all backfiring and making her look even more dumb. Stefon Diggs was never a celebration moment. The situation was never cute, and it was never an upgrade for her. She is married. And as a man, he was never taking her seriously. He was capitalizing off.
All right. Now, this is a point that I wanted to speak on as far as, she married. This woman is married and had a baby by another nigga. Like, how low can you go on that one and shit? You know what I'm saying? At least, get your divorce. Get rid of Offset. Stop dealing with it. Even though she don't supposed to be divorcing Offset. As far as what I believe in or whatnot. Marriage is something, you know what I'm saying? It's something real serious. You can't play with that. At least I don't play with that. I've been married for 22 years now, and I take my marriage serious. I'm not the type of person that give up. Cardi B, I put her in the category of her giving up. Yeah. Yeah, Pooh man, she's still married. Yep. She's still married. And I think the reason why she's still married is because Offset, he don't want to sign them divorce papers. They haven't came up with, I guess, a settlement, as far as her giving him some money, or y'all know how that go. Somebody gonna get some money, either the woman or the man. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be the woman, getting that money. What the hell? It's gonna be that woman getting that money. And in this case, Offset is the one, that can possibly be getting money from her or whatnot. I know it was things out here as far as he getting like 15 million from her or something like that, and so much money in alimony. Salute. Who is this? 820. Anyway, I'm gonna put his information up so y'all can see. But let me read this comment on Pooh Man. I think she doesn't want to give him money because she makes more than him. Right. Yeah, and I think that's the case right there. But, I look at it like this. You want out of this divorce. As far as how marriages go, you might have to pay some money, or you might be paid some money. In this case, you got to pay some money. But this woman, she making herself look real bad to people who got sense and a moral compass. It just, you had a baby by a famous Pookie and Ray Ray. Let's just, you know what I'm saying, call it like that. she had a baby by a goddamn Pookie and Ray Ray, and now it's allegedly, because I don't know, we really don't know what's going on with these people out there in the entertainment business or whatnot. They might still be together, they might not, but it's out there that they're not together right now. Um, Wait a minute. Okay, let's do it. But it's she making herself look bad, and with me, she already looked bad as far as her altering her body. Let's put that out there. Her butt looked nasty as hell. Um, I've seen some pictures with her makeup without her makeup, and she looked busted. She looked busted, and it's probably because of some things she got done to her face or whatnot. I got a family member, and they got that plastic surgery and all that, and when they not wearing makeup, they look terrible. I'm sorry, they look terrible as hell. But I know I went to rambling and all that. Let's get to this video. Y'all came for the video. We gonna get to the video because this girl, she talking sense.
Off of her enjoying the moment. No man is ever taking a woman that is still married with a baby under one by her husband seriously. Offset and every other man knew this. Only people who didn't was most of the females. I just wish that she never had a baby and could have just walked away. But nope, women think a baby will change a man, and it never has, and it never will. Now let's elaborate. This video is not necessarily to down talk Cardi B. It's really for other women to understand that first and foremost, this fake empowerment, I blame a lot of women for what be going on with other women. Because y'all will see something and know it not be right, but then for some reason, as women, we'll still celebrate something that we know is just not right. Women was so busy trying to help Cardi B get her get back to her husband that y'all thought because she went and got a dark-skinned, handsome-looking man that was some type of a lick back. Yeah, he mad. And y'all was like, he's so mad. He mad that she got Stefan Diggs. And now, granted, Stefan Diggs and Cardi B had like this sexual type of chemistry energy in the air, and it spoke very loudly. And so as women, y'all kind of fell in love with that. But I don't understand how could y'all not have seen that Cardi B and Stefan Diggs was never going to be a thing. The only way Cardi B should have ever had a baby by him, as if that really was going to be a thing. But for her to have a baby by him is where she completely dropped the ball for herself. I said it before and now I say it again. Offset was never mad. You know why Offset was never mad or salty or anything like that? Because men know men. And most men know that most men are never gonna take Cardi B seriously. Because Cardi chose to have a baby by another man while she was still married, I could almost bet that it might be over with for Cardi B dating in a more serious manner.
And that was a good point too. Her next man is not gonna take her serious. I've been married before. And I got married for all the wrong reasons and whatnot. Man, I got some stories too, man. Like, if y'all would hear some of the stories that I got, man, y'all be like, damn, this dude, he done seen some things or whatnot. But I've been married before, and I got married for all the wrong reasons. I got married in prison. I had I got 5 years fast time, and at the time, my ex-wife, we was kicking it. We had been going together for like about 3 years or whatnot. And I went to prison. And while I was in prison, well, I didn't go to prison yet. I was in the county jail. But while I was in the county jail, we got married. Because she was, I was telling her like, you need to go on with your life. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go ahead and worry about knocking these 5 years down and whatnot. And she was like, like, no, like, how you gonna throw away 5 years like that? And I'm like, well, I feel you on that. So with that being said, let's go on and get married or whatnot, I didn't get on my knees or nothing like that. I didn't, it wasn't um, no proposal that it had some type of feelings, and I was just like, well, shit, let's just go on and get married, and we got married. Um, she she was there for me for about, I say about 3 years, no, 4 years. She was there for me about 4 years. My last year that I had to do, I didn't hear from her. And one day I had called my mother, and she was like, I got something to tell you. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm thinking that I'm about to get some more time or some more charges or something like that. A superseding indictment, y'all can look that up or whatever. But it's indictment where they can bring up charges on another case. You didn't did something with somebody or something like that. So I told my mom like, it ain't got nothing to me doing some extra time or nothing like that. She was like, no, it ain't that. I'm like, shit. Well, anything else, you know what I'm saying, I can handle or whatnot. So my mother, she was like, she was like, your wife is pregnant. And I'm like, that's it? Because she was like, she didn't want to tell me or whatever. She thought I was going to be tripping, probably go whoop some ass in the prison or whatever, get mad. I'm like, no, I'm good on that. I didn't expect that. The worst. Well, I expected that she'd probably be dealing with somebody. But don't disrespect yourself, me, or our marriage, and get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even think about it like that. But as far as going back to the point where she talking about somebody taking her serious, ain't nobody gonna take her to be serious. Stefan Diggs, he used her basically how these Pookie and Ray Rays be using these other women out here. They'll sleep with you. Yeah, they gonna sleep with you or whatever, put the pamper on you, you know what I'm saying, take you out, do all that stuff and get the draws. And then once they get the draws, you gonna really find out about this Pookie and Ray Ray. That they ain't shit. Cause a dude, he'll put on the front until he get them draws. Once he get the draws, it's like, oh shit, I can relax now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to put on for this woman no more. I got what I want. If she wanna, leave when she find out I ain't shit, then she can be gone. I'm on to the next one. And that's how I used to think. You know what I'm saying? Back in my heyday, back in my younger days or whatnot. I used to have a lot of women, and I didn't care. I didn't care, man. You know what I'm saying? I was one who, I had different baby mamas or whatnot. I got 3 different baby mamas before my wife, right? And I didn't care, man. You know what I'm saying? I had all these children before I went to prison, so I was out their life for a while. But I'm up here telling my story and shit, and I'm supposed to be playing this video. That's what I'm saying, man. I ain't with this live or whatnot. I'm new to this shit, But I did want to read Pooh Man comment. He said he going to court for hitting and choking his live-in private chef, and the chef is definitely his type. So the chef got to be a woman. Okay. Let me see. Cause he got this other comment. Pooh Man got this other comment. He had 3 other women pregnant at the same time as her. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand some of these women, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she knew about these women being pregnant by him, but you raw dogging this dude. You know what I'm saying? You raw dogging this dude, and that's what I'm saying, man. I don't get it, man, because Stefan Diggs, it's like he he turning these women into whores, because it's not like he's marrying these women. And you know, as far as, let's get the record straight, you know, I believe in multiple marriages. You know, I don't you know, try to get me a wife and all that stuff. It's stuff you got to have multiple wives or whatever. It's stuff that you have to do, you know. But you got these women pregnant. You're not committed to them. You're not married to them or whatnot. So that makes it where they still can go out there and you know, have other relationships or whatever. And that's just, you whoring yourself. You whoring yourself out there. You know, as far as you being committed. You know, because I don't believe in a woman jumping from rod to rod. You know, that's just not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's women is not built like that. You know, you'll have these women like, and she gonna speak on this too. Like, you're not built like a man. Women is like not built like a man. So, I know that I figured out, you know, as I got older, that I was whoring out our sisters or whatnot. You know, because like one of my sons, I ain't gonna put him out there. I'm not gonna do that, man, because my son watched me. But just think, man, you know, you got, if you're dealing with a virgin and you sleep with her, and then y'all just so happen to break up, then eventually she gonna go to another man. And, you know, as far as what I believe, a woman supposed to only have one man, one husband. That's it. That's what the good books say. Unless this man dies, something like that. Now then, okay, that's an exception. But as long as this woman, you know, is married to this man, she don't supposed to deal with no other man other than her husband. It's considered a whore. That's what, you know, the definition of a whore. You sleeping around with different men. You can't do that. But man, I'm rumbling and stuff. I'm gonna go and get to this video, y'all. Let's get to this video. But again, ain't no man gonna take her serious. She got a track record now. But let's get to the video.
No man is going to want to stand next to Cardi B, because standing next to Cardi B is kind of like a disrespectful disgrace to that man. Most men are going to still rock with Cardi B because she seemed like she got a good personality. She seemed like she might bring heat in the bedroom. She seemed like a real fun girl. But I don't see no man taking her seriously at all, period, from this point on. She should have never had a baby by Stefan Diggs, period, point blank. And then most women, y'all jump right to the every woman doesn't want to have an abortion. And why do we jump so straight to abortions? What are we as women doing to prevent ourselves from being pregnant? Well, what is the man doing? It don't never fall on the man. That is what's wrong with y'all now as women. Y'all don't understand that it's never going to be equal. Stefan Diggs is living his life. And guess what? He was using Cardi B because Cardi B was, I don't mean using her like literally. I mean, it was fun. Oh man, I could pull a Cardi. It was kind of like a, you know, moment. Yeah, I got Cardi with me. Yeah, he played his part. But guess what? He was never looking to take her seriously at all, period. In the comment section, somebody said, well, I don't think she was moving off a Get Back. I think she genuinely thought she had something special with Stefan Diggs because she's never felt that love before. And this is why we advise most women to heal, because after having a baby, after postpartum, after emotions are very high, when we as women already move off emotions, if you are a woman that just sometimes just take a minute and sit back and isolate yourself from the world and detach yourself, you are able to think. You are able to think clear. You are able to sort out things that you need to sort out for yourself. You're able to know what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want and don't want. The minute that y'all keep moving, you never take the time to sit still to figure out what is it that I'm actually looking for? What is it that I'm actually missing within myself? What is it that I want for my life? That is healing. That's the healing process. Being able to think, being able to be aware of your actions and things that you're doing. Not just sitting up, moving in the moment, somewhere trying to get a lick back. Y'all be killing y'all value every single time when y'all move and try to use your bodies as get back. There's no such thing as a body in a get back. The only get back that a woman should be trying to get when she breaks up with a man is get her shit together, get her credit up, get her money up. Y'all can't compare it to Cardi B because Cardi B is not a broke woman. She's not an average woman. So don't say, well, she got all of that. Then what she needs is some peace, a peace of mind. And that look like something she don't got. She needs to go isolate herself and stop dating all the way around. She is in the middle of a divorce. Just sit still. What's wrong with just not dating anybody until you can figure out what's next for yourself? And Lord forbid if there's a woman that does not agree with this behavior, the first thing y'all do is call somebody a hater. Y'all have to stop celebrating this tacky behavior because guess what? It's the women that's keeping other women single because y'all so busy trying to get the applause from other women because Stephon Diggs was more of a woman thing. Y'all see, she got Stephon Diggs. Oh my God, bitch, that's an upgrade. Up, City Girls, up, da, da, da. Whole time now she got 2 babies. 2 little toddlers that's gonna be in Pampers, goo goo gaga, talking by 2 different men while she's still married. And this man is having his way with so many different women, and he's just living this life. He don't have to care because he was already showing women who he was. He never lied about who he was. He's never gonna take the L. What part of that don't y'all get that we're not men? They're never going to take the L. It's always gonna fall on us. Well, she's a millionaire. Money don't have nothing to do with it. Peace don't cost nothing. She ain't got it, and a whole lot of other women ain't got it. You can tell when a woman is at peace. Drika is at peace. It shows in her aura. It shows in her responses. It shows in her behavior. It completely.
Now, this is the part where she lost me at because I don't know Drika. If anybody in the chat know Drika, if y'all can, fill me in on who she talking about is Drika or whatnot. Shout out to Captain Tech. What it do? But let's see, I forgot, man. I forgot some of the things that she said as far as oh no, she was talking about, preventing herself from getting pregnant or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a firm believer that you don't off your baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in abortions. Anybody with a moral compass don't believe in abortion or whatnot. But she could have took some steps, as far as her getting pregnant, where she can prevent it from her getting pregnant. Y'all know how I get in the bedroom sometime. But you know better, you do better. I don't know if Cardi B, she must have wanted a baby by this dude because why is you not protecting yourself or, protecting yourself from getting pregnant? So that right there, that threw me off. Like, she wanted to get pregnant, and just like she said in the beginning, it's women out here that think they get pregnant by this guy, then they can keep him. But that's far from the truth.
Really shows. I know a peaceful woman when I see one. And a lot of y'all is not at peace. That's why y'all think money mean everything. Money does not mean you're a peaceful woman or that you're at peace as a woman. As a man either. Part of me almost want to say something stupid that I wouldn't never do. But if in a stupid girl world, I would say.
All right. Thanks for that. For letting me know that. What is it? Elia Rowley. What it do? But he said that the girl that she mentioned is Kevin Gates' ex-wife, and I really don't know that much about Kevin Gates, but I think his wife, she only produced kids by Kevin Gates or whatnot. I really don't know. I know a little bit about, him and his wife getting divorced, and he started messing with that one crazy ass lady, um, the basketball player, baby mama. But I really don't know about her like that. Um, Pooh man, yeah, you're right. It's over 40 forms of birth control for women. Exactly. Um, it's just crazy how some of these women be out here operating or whatnot. Um, my first baby mother, I really don't like saying that, but my first baby mother, she was she was 4 years older, and she's 4 years older than me. I was 17 at the time that I was dealing with her, and she was 21. And I don't know, some of y'all might know this story or whatnot, but it's a fucked up story, man. I'm talking about this story. Like, if I told y'all this story, y'all wouldn't even believe it. Y'all probably wouldn't even believe it. Like, seriously. But she was dealing with another dude. You know, she had me thinking that she wasn't dealing with another dude. She already had a little girl. I think her little girl was probably like about 2 or something like that. But she was dealing with me, and she was dealing with this other dude. And 17, man, I'm out there. I'm wild as hell. I'm all out of town. I'm in Ohio. I'm just out there, right? Because I was mostly out of town in Ohio doing my thing or whatever. I was selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? I can admit what I was doing, and I know I was wrong. I was with the bullshit, but we was dealing with each other. She happened to come up pregnant. I really wasn't dealing with her like that. I was dealing with all type of women and shit at that age or whatnot. But she was telling me that, you know, we go together and all that shit. I kept the women away from her, but we was supposed to be going together. And she had the baby, all that, you know what I'm saying? I started coming over her house, from time to time. It wasn't like, I was in my son's life like that. But it was like she didn't have no problem with it. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how some women be pressing dudes to be with their child? She wasn't pressing me. So one day I go over her house, and I should have been a detective, because I'm a nosy dude. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I want to know what's going on. But one day I so happened to, I stole her like diary or some shit like that. The shit women write down, they write their shit down or whatever. But I stole it, and I was reading it, and it had on there where she got some money from this dude for my son, and then she had up under that she got some money from OG for my son, and I'm like, wait a minute, why did you get money from this dude? You know what I'm saying? For my son. So I confronted her about it, and she denied it and all that stuff, and I'm like, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Who is this dude? This random ass dude. And then, not to mention that, my son's name was similar to his name. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? These red flags just coming up, and I'm like, no, something ain't right. So we got into it and all that, and I stopped talking to her for a while. And this is like around the time that, I went to prison. And it was this dude up in there that knew her. Because he was trying to talk to her and all that. He was telling me, he really liked her and all that stuff. But he knew my peoples, and I knew some of his peoples or whatnot. And he was telling me, like, don't you got a baby by her? And at this time, I'm like, no, I ain't got no baby by her. She got a baby with another dude. That's another new baby. So he was telling me like, man, that's your baby, man. That. I'm like, man, look, man, she got another dude thinking it's his baby. So, long story short, on that part, I had got out, and at this time, I done met my wife and all that. We done got married. We done had us a baby, and I so happened to see the girl. Me and my wife at the same time. We was at Kentucky Fried Chicken on goddamn 8 Mile and Mound or something like that. For y'all who from Detroit know or whatnot. I'm just looking at these comments. But we seen her at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and my wife, you know what I'm saying, man. I got a cool ass wife too, man. I seen her, and I let her know, like, this the one who say she got a baby by me, because I done told her the story about this maybe baby, because that's at the time that's what I called it, a maybe baby. So I'm talking to her and all that stuff. We exchanged numbers, and she just kept telling me, this your child, and I'm like, well, what about this other dude? Or why I can't see my son? Or why I can't be around him? Or why you can't tell him that I'm his daddy? See, this shit gets deep. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, this boy, I think he about 9 or 10 years old at the time, and he don't even know that I'm, he got a different daddy out there. She got this other dude thinking that it's his son the whole time. This man, he don't know. So, we talking, and his birthday coming up. So I'm like, okay, well, you gonna have a birthday party for him or something like that? She's like, yeah, I'm like, well then shit, I'm trying to come. I'm trying to give him some presents and, let him know, who I am. And she like, if you come, I don't want you to say nothing about, you know what I'm saying, you being his son. And I was like, what? I'm like, all right, I'm done. Off the rip, I stopped calling her everything. I'm like, the hell with it, man, So as time went on, he turned 17. He go to prison. His brother, and I'm just jumping over stuff. Okay, I got to bag it up. I got to bag this shit up, man. Now, after she had my son, she had another boy. A year apart. I don't even think it was a year apart. A year apart. Now, this boy is the dude son who she got thinking is my son. And I hope that I said it right. This dude, this is child right here. But she had a baby right after my son. One day I came to her house. This is my son, probably was about like 1 year old or something like that. So, I come to her house, I'm expecting her to let me in. But she held me at the door. And I'm like, y'all remember, I'm this detective now. So she got the door like, like halfway open. So I'm looking in there, I'm looking around and shit, and I'm seeing balloons and all this shit, and like, it's a balloon that says, it's a boy and all that, and congratulations and shit like that. And I'm like, what the hell going on? I'm like, what you got? What's going on and shit? She was like, oh yeah, my sister just had a baby. And I'm like, for real? Oh, okay, but I'm believing it. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't find out that it was her son till I found out that my son was in jail. And I know y'all wondering why I'm saying my son. Because he my son. Once I finish the story, whatever y'all see, okay. But his brother got into it with somebody at school. And my son went and took her gun and went and confronted this dude or whatever. And when he confronted him, he pulled the gun on him and he robbed him. So he went to jail. He did 5 years or something. Yeah, he did 5 years. So, hold on, y'all. This mom's right quick. I'm gonna send her the. Okay, but he went to jail for that. He still don't know nothing about me or whatever. My sister had passed away at the time, and I think this when Facebook was heavy like that, and she found out and she had sent me a message and was like, oh, I'm sorry, what I'm saying, and I let her know, like, yeah, that's messed up. I've been trying to tell you, it's serious that this boy know that I'm his father. For this reason or whatnot. Of my sister passing away. So she was like, yeah, well, it's something I gotta tell you. He in jail. I'm like, damn, for what? So she told me the story and everything. And I'm like, look, give me his information, give me his name and all that, you know what I'm saying, so I can write him, because it's he got to know, you know what I'm saying? So she gave me some bullshit name. Her lies, she had to cover up her lies because she told me my son had this last name. But it wasn't the last name that my son had. My son had this man last name. So, and I didn't find that out until I met my son, like, when he got out, I think he was like 21. 21 and 22, something like that. But she had gave me, this bullshit name that she always had me thinking that was his name. So I'm going on the prison website trying to put this name in and nothing wasn't coming up. So I'm like, what the fuck? Is she giving me the right name? So I'm like, man, the hell with it. I just, like, she a liar. She's a goddamn habitual liar. So I was like, man, the hell with it. I'm not even I ain't gonna deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I had got on Instagram and I so happened to see her daughter. And I followed her. And this was like, I think he had like 2 years in or something like that. So I followed her and I kept my eye on her. You know what I'm saying? So one day she had posted something about my son. Like he out of prison. And I'm like, okay. So I went to his name and I was like, I'm not even finna go through her no more. I'm not finna deal with her. You a grown man now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go straight to the source. So I text him and was like, look, man, I know you probably don't know me or whatever, but it's a must. It's important that we talk to each other. And he was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with it. So, he shot me his number or whatever. I called him and I just got to spilling my guts. Basically like, your mama ain't shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, you know what? Look, man, I want to ask you, man, what's your name, man? What's your last name? And he told me, and I'm like, ain't this a bitch? I'm like, this dirty bitch. And I'm like, man, why, man, why would you do that? You ain't doing nothing but hurting this little boy right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm hurt a little bit. And I can be honest, man, because I didn't know this dude. I didn't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't really have no connection with him and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as me growing up with my other sons and shit, it wasn't nothing there. Cause I only seen him from like when he was born to 1 year old. And after that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't seen him. The next time I seen him, it was when he was like 21, 22. Cause she was always hiding him, keeping him away and all that. You know what I'm saying? I messed up when I went to prison. That's just the way I feel. But this is, I mean, this story is crazy though. Um, I got in touch with him. You know what I'm saying? I started, coming to see him and visiting him and all that stuff. And one day I was just like, look, man, I hope you don't take offense to this, but, you know, would you, get a blood test or whatever? And he was like, hell yeah, I don't care. That's what's up, And we took a blood test. And, I paid for it, everything. And the results came back, he was my son. And I'm like, man, this dirty bitch. Like, damn. And the first thing I did was I messaged her and was like, I'm like, you a rotten, lying ass bitch. Why, how you gonna give my son some other man name? And all she can say was like, it ain't even all that serious. And I'm like, yeah, it is serious. So we find out he my son or whatever, he started coming around, you know what I'm saying, meeting his siblings or whatnot. Some of my family members, his grandmama, my mother, my brother, he ain't even never seen him before. You know what I'm saying? Never seen him. But it was a situation where it's this dude, and I know the dude. The dude had grew up with my cousins. He ran the streets with my cousins. He even ran the streets with me. We was together on some, journeys or whatever you want to call it or whatnot. But I was around this dude. And this dude, he was in prison with my son. But he didn't know that was my son. My son didn't know that this was a dude that I used to hang out with, long time ago. This dude, he probably was like, I'm in my 50s. I'm 52. This dude, he probably like 62 now. So he probably was like about 10 years older than me. Right? So at the time, they didn't know the connection. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So he was asking me, man, this dude named what did that dude call his name? I called it, his name was Man. But they called him Darkface. And I'm like, no, I don't know that name. And he was like, yeah, I want you to meet this dude or whatever, And I said, they don't call him nothing else. He was like Bojangles. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that nigga. And when he said, I said, look, dude, I told my son, I said, look, man, you need to leave dude alone. You know what I'm saying? Dude is scandalous and scurvy as hell. And my son, he didn't see it as important why he shouldn't be dealing with this dude. But one day my son came over and he called the dude and he was like, here go Bojangles on the phone. So I'm like, you know what? Let me end this shit right here. So I took the phone from him and I'm like, man, what's up, dude? What you want, dog? You forgot what you did? Because this dude, he had robbed my cousins and them. Matter of fact, he robbed the dude or whatnot. They used to be fighting dogs and shit. My cousin won like about like 30,000 at one time. And I went and took the money. They had me go take the money to the house where Bojangles was and the other dude was. So I'm like, yeah, go and put this up. So Bojangles, he peeped that shit out and he robbed the dude. You know what I'm saying? He robbed him. And I'm like, damn, y'all got dudes around here like that's gonna rob y'all, but he was scurvy as hell. So, I told my son, like, look, this dude scurvy as hell. No, I'm at the story where I'm talking to him. I'm like, dude, you forgot what you did and shit? I was like, dude, I don't trust you, especially around my peoples, my son. You know what I'm saying? And he, like, Oh man, it ain't like that. I'm like, man, look, dude, fuck you, man. And I hung the phone up and told my son, I said, look, dude, don't fuck with this dude. I'm telling you, don't deal with this dude. He kept dealing with this dude. His mama steady bringing him over to where this dude is at. Long story short, my son come up missing. Last place he was with this dude. We around looking for him and all that at the place where he was at, last seen and all that stuff. It's crazy because I had jumped up on top of the garage of the place where he was at, and I'm just looking around. I'm looking around like, damn, and the next day, man, they found him right behind the goddamn garage that I was at. And man, I was messed up, man, because I had to talk to dude like, look, man, my son missing, man, and you was the last one with him. Oh man, man, he owe me some money and this and that, and I'm like, all right, man, that's cool, but I'm trying to find my son. You gonna help me look for him? Why don't you come with me, and both of us can look for him together? Oh man, OG man, man, I can't do that and all. I'm like, all right, man, okay, man, So I just hung up on him, man, and then that's when they found him, and man, I lost it. You know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't let me go back there and see him. But what happened was they got into it. They was in some damn trap house or whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But they was in some damn house. They got into it, and my son went to sleep. And when my son went to sleep, dude went and shot him in the back of the head, man, and took his life. It was crazy, man. It was crazy, and it was like, man, whew. Man, this is my firstborn too, man. My firstborn, and I didn't even really get no time to spend with him, to enjoy his life or anything like that. And man, this woman, this lady, man, do you know on his obituary, he didn't even have a father. Now y'all tell me where y'all see that at. I ain't never seen an obituary where they said, because they had the mother on there, but he didn't even have no goddamn father on there. And I'm like, man. I went, and when I seen the obituary, I went, because he had a closed casket. I went, touched the casket like that. It's like I'm out. I wasn't even there about 5 minutes. I was like, I'm not going to no cemetery, none. I'm not even finna be a part of none of this crap. You know what I'm saying? I just left, because I felt like, look, my son, he don't know I'm here. He don't, you know what I'm saying? This is all for y'all. And then y'all don't even want to recognize me, that I'm his father or whatever, because of this raggedy bitch. Like, man, I'm out of here, man. I don't even want to have nothing to do with it, But I know she probably went through a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with her son, having his life taken away from him. But it's like, what about me though? And what I went through? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really had to be strong to go through all this shit, because I could have flipped the hell out, man. You know what I'm saying? I could have made a scene. I could have did something to her, you know what I'm saying, which was going through my mind or whatever. But I also had to remember, man, you got a family, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a family. I had 2 sons at the time with my wife. And I couldn't let them down if I, crashed out or whatever, because that's what I was thinking. Man, I'm about to crash out on her ass. This ain't right. But I just let it go. You know what I'm saying? I never talked to her afterwards. I just let it go. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, again, I didn't even know him like that. So I didn't really know how to feel. I just know that this was my blood. He came from me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never ran out on none of my kids. You know, no matter how shitty they mama was or whatever, you know, because my second baby mama, you know, she wasn't shit neither. You know? But man, I'm telling you, man, it's like parts that I didn't tell or whatever because, you know, this it'll be a long story. We'll be on here all goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? But man, some of these women, man, are treacherous. But the men, we get looked at as us not being shit, but women do shit like this, it's overlooked. Like y'all need to pay for this shit. You know what I'm saying? As far as women getting abortions and all that, you know, y'all need to pay for that shit. And it's women out here that's serial killers and shit. And I know women don't like to hear that, you know, because it's women that got a abortion for whatever reason. But I'm like this: if you laying down and you letting a man sleep with you unprotected, then you should be able to be accountable and, you know, own up to your responsibilities and take care of that child and bring that child in this world or whatnot. Because soon as it hit that goddamn reproduction system or whatnot, that's life. I know a lot of women might not think it like that, justifying shit or why they doing shit, but no. You actually goddamn taking somebody's life. But you know what I'm saying? That was a little bit of my story, man. That's just one of my stories, man. I'm telling y'all, man. I can tell y'all some things and y'all will be like, damn. This dude, man, how is you even here? For real though. But let me look at some of these comments. Okay, Captain Tech, that's what's up, man. Yeah, you right. Prince Bud, salute, man. I mean, and that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? I know better, so I do better. And I can pass this on to somebody like Prince Bud. You know, he say he 37 years old. Yeah, man, you know, it's like we need to sharpen each other's swords and whatnot. You know, I might can learn something from you. You know, I'm not too old to learn something, but I was a scumbag once upon a time. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all understand, you know, the first battle is knowing, okay, I was a scumbag. You know, now I know that I'm a scumbag. Now I know, look, I ain't trying to be no goddamn scumbag. You know what I'm saying? I got to, you know, get my life together or whatever, you know. And that's when I came out of prison. So I done already had my 3 sons. I put it in my mind. The next woman that I get pregnant, I'm marrying her. And I married my wife. We've been married for 22 years. Again, I'm not a quitter. You know what I'm saying? We done been through all type of shit. But I don't quit. You know, and I don't like to put my wife out there like that, but you know, it was some times that she wanted to quit. But I stuck in there like, you know, well, I ain't going nowhere. Plus, if you believe in the Bible, you can't just divorce your spouse like that. You can't do that. Unless your spouse is dealing with a goddamn animal or something like that, or your wife then committed adultery. That's the only way you can, you know, or unless I be on the backdoor side of the game or whatnot, then that's when she can divorce me. But other than that, there's no you know grounds on divorce or whatnot. You got to stick it out. We all have problems and whatnot. Ain't neither one of us perfect. You know, she got her times where she ain't liking me, and I got my times where I ain't liking her. You know, for some shit she done did or for some shit I done did. But we got to, you know, that's what I said, man. We got to do better or whatever. You know, I always say that black people don't have no culture. You know, we think we got a culture, but we actually don't have no culture if you look at it, man. You know, our culture is not this rapping shit, and you know, this shit all was made up. You know what I'm saying? The sagging of the pants. What else? The food we eat. Just how we live our life. Period. It's not our culture. We had a culture. We had one, but it was taken away from us. We lost it. Y'all, we can't forget about, you know what I'm saying, us being captured, you know what I'm saying, kidnapped and shit. We had a culture before that. And we were stripped of our culture. If that makes any sense to anybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like common sense to me. You know, you take a nation of people and you kidnap them. Just like, say for instance, you know, a kidnapper kidnap a baby or something. Oh man, what's up, my brother Linzel? What's going on, man? Let me make you a moderator right quick. But a kidnapper kidnaps some little baby or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, for instance, a white man kidnap a black baby, and this black baby is living with this white man. That black baby ain't gonna know about his culture because he's up under this kidnapper in his culture. If that makes any sense to anybody, you know what I'm saying? But we lost our culture, and me myself, you know what I'm saying? I found our culture. And I'm back to my culture or whatnot. And my life has been so much better. And as far as the hate for my own self and my people that I had in my heart, I don't have no more. I love my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm like, I don't get down on my people like that. I get down on you, it's showing you love, but I also, you know, bring you up and let you know you better than what anybody think that you are. You know, but let me get some of these yeah, man, damn, let me see. I'm just gonna call you A20. Yeah, A20, man, it's heartbreaking, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still fucked up about that, man. Cause I feel like I lost out. You know? I really like lost out, man. Like this dude, man, my son, he looked just like me, man. Just like me. I mean, if I showed y'all a picture, y'all be like, damn, man, that's your goddamn twin. And I know some people probably heard about this story. I know my brother Linzel, he heard about this story, you know, but it's like, man, right, Captain Tech. Let me put some of these comments up, man, because they relevant as hell, you know. I didn't even think I was gonna get this many people on this, you know, this live or whatnot, but let me get to some of these chats right quick. Captain Tech, he said something, you know, that you know, we had Black Wall Street. They took that from us. Exactly. And you got to think about it too, how people say that we need to, strap up our bootstraps or however that phrase go or whatever. Like, like basically y'all got to get it out the mud. Ain't nobody holding y'all back. I call bullshit, man. This system ain't, you know what I'm saying? For us, the system is against us. But if you talk about it, you get these coon people coming, you know what I'm saying, trying to justify shit. These people right here, they try to justify shit, you know what I'm saying? So they can get their little crumbs off the table because that's all they got is crumbs. Or that's all they getting is the crumbs, and just selling out their own people and shit, man. And it's like, how?
She probably should have stayed.
Hold on, let me pause there. I just wanted to put the raccoon up in there. But yeah, A20, you right about that, man. Like, you think about it, man. We the only people that didn't get reparations. Like, what black person would be against reparations for the things that happened to us? You know what I'm saying? Back in those days where we didn't built this goddamn country, and it's people that's talk about this. It's people that talk about this and get looked at as being racist or you hate and stuff like that, and that's far from the truth and whatnot. How could we hate? People got different definitions of hate. Cause wasn't we hated when we was brought here? Like they was doing things to us. That's the hatred right there. But what do? We speak truth, and they didn't change that to hate. We talk about what was done to us, even though we not doing nothing to nobody. Like what have we done? Why people hate us like the way they do? What do we do? What did we do? Because we was forcibly brought here, and the people that was here was forcibly, put in chains and all that shit. That's what I'm saying, man. Man, I'm 52 years old. Well, I'll be 52 in a couple of weeks or whatever. I don't celebrate birthdays, but I just keep up so I know how old I am. But I don't celebrate birthdays. But I've been here on this earth for 52 years, and the shit that I done seen, man, oh man, oh man, I've been here. You know what I'm saying? When there wasn't no cell phones up in this mud. I've been here when it was just black and white TVs. So I done seen a lot. I'm talking about a lot, man. But I keep going off, y'all. Y'all gonna have to keep me on track, man. Because I enjoy, you know what I'm saying, like I'm basically letting this shit out, because if you knew me, you know what I'm saying, really like that, y'all would think this dude, he a quiet dude, you know what I'm saying? I really don't talk like that. I really don't have much to say like that, but I can, you know what I'm saying, conversate and relate to people stories or whatever, just like I relate to what Captain Tech put up there. I relate to that. Pooh Man, he said it makes sense to me. Exactly right. Who else? Yeah, hey Prince Bud, this is my first live, man. I just said, man, I want to go ahead and go live, interact with my peoples or whatnot, because I consider y'all my peoples. Y'all deal with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no. I don't talk eloquently. And sometimes I find myself trying to talk different than what I usually talk, and it never work out. It's like, no, you trying too hard. You trying to be somebody else or whatever. Um, I talk. Some people say, but my wife, she say, I talk ghetto. You know what I'm saying? But I try to school her on that as far as the ghetto. People look at ghetto as bad. It's not. Just one day, just look it up in the dictionary of what ghetto mean, what it really mean. You know, and you'll see it's not bad, but people use it as bad. You ghetto, and I don't get offended when people say I'm ghetto. Because as far as with black people, I've been to some places. I don't know if y'all familiar that I went to Ghana, Africa, or whatnot. I done made some videos, but I done been to some places, and when I was in Ghana, I was interacting with the men down there, and they was just so in awe of how I talk, how I walk. They was just in awe, and they would try to mimic that. Try to talk like me and all that stuff. And I even had one dude was like, "Man, I wish I can talk like you." And I'm like, "Really?" You know what I'm saying? But people follow us. We the trendsetters. They want to be like us. They want to talk like us, act like us, but they don't want our trouble though. They don't want our trouble. And that's one thing. As far as about our people, I'm patient with our people. I used to didn't be patient, but I'm patient with my people because we went through a lot of shit, man, and we still going through it to this day. So I'm very patient with my people, man. Very patient. But let's see here. Okay, let me put up what Captain Tech put up here. Okay, Captain Tech said ghetto in the 70s was a word of empowerment. Right, exactly right. That should be empowered, right? We the most copied people, right? Pooh man, you exactly right. Brother Lenzel, real recognize real. All day, brother. You already know. You already know. This my brother right here, Lenzel, man. He been rocking with me since day one. Talking about like 10 years ago, man. Jesus Christ came from the ghetto. That's what I'm saying, man. All y'all got to do is look up ghetto, and y'all probably, get a different perspective of it. Let me see. Yeah, I got to get faster on this chat or whatnot. But I did want to do something. I want to make a couple of people moderators. Brother Lenzel, he's the moderator. Okay, brother Captain Tech, I'm gonna make you a moderator too, man. I can have me some backup up in here, man, because I know it's gonna be some goddamn, some ignorant ass people coming up in here. Let me see who's else on here. Okay, B-Man. You say call you B-Man, all right. Okay, that's what's up. I'm gonna note that. 820 B-Man. But you know what? I'm gonna go back to this video of this lady, and I'm gonna go back in this chat and see, cause I'm gonna want more moderators, you know, because it be people coming on people chats, you know what I'm saying, disrupting shit, and I'll be damned if I had that. Um, but we gonna go on and finish with this lady, and it's only a little bit, so let's get back to it, y'all.
With her husband. If you wasn't gonna be single after the breakup, you probably should have just worked it out with your husband of your children, till death do us part. She had a better chance at saying, well, me and my husband, you know, we gave vows, and she had a better chance at leading with that. Where do Cardi go from here? Young women, if you're watching this video, please use this for informational purposes. When you get your heart broke, baby, the only get back is getting on your shit. That's it. It ain't about trying to go sleep with his brother, his friend. It's not about trying to chase a get back, a lick back to make them feel away. Men almost never feel away. And even if they do feel away, it don't matter. The lick back is never going to be what you think it's going to be. I advise all young women and all women in general, when you get your heart broke, the best thing you can do is sit still, because it's going to prevent you from making some stupid decisions and making stupid choices that you're going to have to eventually live with and deal with. Just sit still. It's okay not to have a man at the time. It's okay.
Okay, and she said something about, you know, Cardi B, she would have been better off staying with her husband. I agree 100%. Because now what? Now you got multiple kids. Before Stefan Diggs, didn't she only have kids by Offset? I just don't get it, man. I do not get it. I don't get it, man. Because, like, what are your chances of getting back with this man, getting back with your husband? If you broke up with your husband, now I don't know if she wanted to get back with her husband, but y'all know how women is sometimes. You broke up with your husband who you was married with and had a baby by another dude, and now you want to come back? Nah. Hell nah, man. No, 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 no. Okay. Pooh Man said, Ghetto is basically saying that you don't come from a privileged background. And yeah, that's part of it. Exactly, that's part of it. But that's part of it. You know what? That's a good question right there, Captain Tech. And he said that, I wonder, was Cardi B father in the home? Was he in the home? That's a good question. Now me myself, my mother and my father was married, but they weren't married for that long. Now, my grandparents on my father's side, they've been married for like 70 something years. 70 something years, right? Rest in peace to my grandmother. You know, she just passed away late last year. But they've been married for 70 something years. And I think it's important for you to be married and raising kids. Because the kids that I have with my wife, they never seen my wife with another man, or they never seen me with another woman. And I feel like that's very important. Especially, you know what I'm saying, with my daughter. She don't see her mother, you know what I'm saying, with different men. Like some of the women that we see out here today. They were different men. And I know if my daughter or anybody else's daughter, see that, then they're going to feel like that's normal. It's okay to do that. My mama did it. So why can't I do it? And it's like you got to, that's what I'm saying. You know better, you do better. And then with my sons too, I teach them, man, don't be out here, uh, just dealing with multiple women and just leaving them. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, man. I teach my sons, if you lay down with a woman, then you need to marry her. Don't go off and making her be a whore. And I tell my wife, like, look, I married you an honest woman. You know what I'm saying? I stick my chest out with that. Because dudes, 9 times out of 10, all dudes want to do is hit and run. I was one of those dudes. But once I found out that this ain't normal, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, okay, now I got to teach my children. Now I got to teach my friends, my people. I got to teach them. Because at the end of the day, we all know this. A lot of people look at us like we ain't shit. But I beg to differ. I believe that we the best people that, step foot on the planet Earth. That's just my opinion. That's how much I love my people. Can't nobody fuck with us. Flat out. Ain't nobody touching us. So, I know people don't like to hear that, and like to, say God made everybody and all that, but I found out a lot of things. We get put in school, and I don't like to be lied to. That's one thing about me, man. I don't like to be lied to. And when I find out you lying to me, man, it's like I'm pissed off, and I'm pissed off for a long time. It take me some time to, be like, all right, let it go, you know what I'm saying? But I hold on to that shit for a long time. And as far as when I found out that everything that was taught to me was a lie, man, I'm still mad, man. And it's been 10 years now. It's been 10 years now. Brother Linzel, man, you my witness. You my witness on that one. Damn. How long have I been on here? How long can I? Oh, I know I can tell. Let me see. Because I do got some things to do, y'all. I just wanted to pop in and, let y'all know that I will be doing more lives and making content. I want to tell my story. Okay, it's been like an hour and 30 minutes. But I want to tell my story and even perhaps enlighten people on some things that I know. Like as far as with my work, I'm in construction. I restore houses. I mean, I'm the trick of all trades. I do a lot of stuff. I started doing roofing. I bought a house in Detroit one time, and I tore the roof off and replaced it myself, all by myself. I got video of it too. I restored the whole house by myself. I'll do it by myself. When I was on the roof working I was working on the roof for about 15 years. They used to be like, he worked like 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I used to bust my ass when I was on the roof. But now, I take my time. I'm like, I done got older. I don't got to, break my back and all that stuff. I feel like I'm in shape. I'm not overweight or anything like that. You know, I lift weights. I'm gonna say every once in a while. It's like last night I went to go lift some weights. From what, 2 months ago or something like that. I got a membership at goddamn Planet Fitness, and you know I go from time to time. Um, but I still got it, you know, because when I was in prison, I was man, I was going through there with the weights. All I did was lift weights and play sports. You know that helped me do my 5 years or whatever. Um, because it was man, jail ain't the place for no black man. You know, but as far as like I done taught people how to build shit, how to fix shit. You can learn a lot from me. Not saying that I know everything, but I know enough. You know, but yeah, I just wanted to touch bases with my ghetto people. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get a name for us. So we can build off of that or whatnot, and have that in the chat and all that stuff. Um, Say Swiss Army knife Captain Tag. All right, all right. But I'm gonna go on and get up out of here, y'all. Man, this has been much appreciated on the love. Jail slavery likely, right? I appreciate the love. I didn't expect to have these many people in the chat, but hey, you never know. So that's why I was like, let me go on and get on this live. And this just a pop-up right here. I probably would be scheduling, the next lives or whatnot. But man, I appreciate everybody, you know what I'm saying, for coming in, stopping by, doing a drive-by, whatever, Linzel, Captain Tech, Pooh Man, 313. I see you in the building, brother. Who else? B-Man. Who else? Oh yeah, Smoking Talk. I can't forget about Smoking Talk. Look what I'm talking about. What are we doing here, Smoking Talk? Well, man, it was, Eli Riley. Appreciate, man, you stopping by, man. This I think, yeah, this is my first time seeing you. Like Captain Tech, I didn't see him comment, on my vibes before, so I'm familiar with him. I'm familiar with Pooh Man. Smoke and Talk, that's my dude there. But I'm gonna go on and get up out of here, y'all. And I appreciate the love. Y'all be seeing me again on this live, so y'all wait for me. But with that being said, I'm gonna go on and get up out of here. It's your man. Y'all already know what it is. To the next video. It's Ghetto Talk up out of here. Peace.